Hello, my name is Delilah Cordovah, Visibility Creator here at Omnipresence Studios. We expose the world to our interviewees' unique products, services, and books, and we also help in their journey to go from undiscoverable to visible in a digital world. I am currently on a mission to conduct 100 author interviews, and we're talking about all things books, from publishing to new authors, and don't forget, marketing. I would like to welcome you to our show, Marketing and Coffee, where authors come to get inspired and experience. Hey authors, you finished your manuscript. What do you do next? If you would like to learn more about being featured on my show, go to marketingandcoffee.com. And without further ado, meet our next awesome author. All right. Hey guys, it is Delilah Cordova here, and I am here again, hopefully with better lighting, with Cynthia Fox Everret. And for those who do not know me, my name is Delilah Cordova, and I am on a mission to conduct 100 interviews. And amongst this mission, I have acquired a new group of friends who are they're all co-authors of Sold Out. And Sold Out is an anthology inspired by Cheryl. I can never say her last name. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Williamson.
Hello.
And
Yes.
she has gathered about 22 different authors to bring together this anthology. I've spoken to about 3 or 4 so far, and their chapter of the book. So if you haven't seen those, make sure you go and watch the replays and check them out, because a lot of them all of them were really inspirational, and they had great messages. So make sure you guys are keeping up in tabs and watching those and supporting these ladies and in this mission that they have of spreading the word of God. So yeah. Cynthia Fox Everret is one of those authors. She's a sold out sister. And I am so lucky to have you here with me today, Cynthia. And I am going to allow you to take it away, introduce yourself and your book, and let the world know about you.
First of all, thank you for the opportunity to do this. First and foremost is God is the first in my everything in my life. First and foremost, I'm a mother for. I have 7 grandchildren. A Army veteran of 14 years. I served in Desert Storm for 6 months. I'm also a life coach, a certification for that.
Oh wow!
A daughter, mother, all those great things kind of rolled into one. And I love journaling. I love writing, which kind of led me to this right here. A lot of different things.
So yeah, you want to tell us how you got started with the Sold Out and how you got into being a part of this anthology?
It started out that my pastor, Dr. Marvin E. Smith, he's in the Soul Bearer. I am blessed to have the books. His story is in here. And so when the opportunity came along for him, he had been waiting for this, and he knows that I write and I journal. So the opportunity came along again, and I did it. I said, I can do this because I've been writing for a while. And so I had the opportunity, and I submitted, all of the information, and I was blessed to be a part of the soul movement. And I'm very excited about it. And I also have Soul Source, which is one of Cheryl's books also. And then Soul Talk, which is one of her books also. And they're all amazing. And that's how I came about being a part of the Soul Out family. Very excited about it.
That's awesome. And with your chapter, what all did you get to write about? Or what did you get to write about? What is your message, and how did you come up to bring that into this book?
Some of the things that I wrote about in my chapter was about mental illness, dealing with PTSD, depression, and suicide, addiction to opioids. That one of those the major things that the world is screaming loud about, the epidemic, and domestic violence, which include the physical, the mental, emotional, and the sexual abuse. Is some of the things that I wrote about in there. I first diagnosis with mental illness was in 2003. Official, went to see someone, to see a psychiatrist, and it was like it was official. I had to tell my dirty little secret out loud, in which I dealt with depression. But because of the stigma and the things that we're taught, that you just don't say that, you just don't do that, And so I kept it, I tried to deal with it as long as I possibly could, and it just kind of got away from me. The PTSD, the depression, that set of mental illness, like I said, I was in Desert Storm for 6 months, and I've seen quite a few things over there that kind of, I had put it in the back of my head, and it didn't quite stay there. So I didn't have a choice but to deal with it at the time. And those are some of the issues that I wrote about.
Oh, wow. And those are great issues to bring up, because we were just talking before the show, and I was telling we were commandeering each other, because I'm Army, she's Army, and we were just talking about the difference in the military, the younger military versus the old school military, which I guess is what we are.
Yeah.
And PTSD is real. I've had a lot of friends come home and lose their life to themselves, because of all the stuff that they went through, and they have PTSD or depression or anxiety. I, for one, I've always had, struggled with anxiety since coming home. Anxiety, panic attacks. I do go through depression from here to there, but I'm lucky that I have a really good support system, and people that I can go into when it does hit, because when it happens, like, you feel like you're shut out from the world, and you don't want to be, but you can't communicate, you can't do nothing, you just shut yourself away. And but the thing is, shutting yourself away doesn't help you to live your life to what you want it to be. It doesn't help you come out and live to your full potential, and what God's purpose is for you to do. Right? So I think that's awesome that you brought that into the book and brought that perspective, because knowing what your message is, hopefully the book will get in more people's hands and give that encouragement to seek help for PTSD, or seek support, and getting through it, or learning to cope, or and it's hard to say that, because it's hard to learn to cope. It really is. And
yeah, it is. It's very hard.
It's very hard. It's hard for me to say, learn to cope, but because I know for a fact that that's not how it really works, So it's awesome. Hopefully that your message will be will transpire within somebody that'd be like, hey, Cynthia Everret, her portion in this book really spoke to me and helped me get through what I'm going through right now. And that's why I like this book so much. Or I haven't even read it yet, but from what authors that I have met, they have all brought this one powerful message from their life and put it in this book, and it's an awesome message, because it's one that is given from God. He gave you the will, he gave you the strength to write it and get it in there. And I commend every author who is in this book for doing that.
Thank you.
So yeah, I'm gonna let you talk.
Yeah, it's fun. I think when it comes to, and again, it goes to being sold out for God. I was in church. The ministry, I've been in there, I think, going on 15 years now. And, like I said, I lost one brother. He was murdered, and then I'm the oldest out of 6. And so I had buried a second brother. And all the mental, physical, and emotional pain became one pain by the time it was said and done. and I ended up with like four different narcotics I was taking, anxiety, something. I was taking about 13 pills at one time in the morning, and then it got to the point where I would test it out and see how this worked, and so forth and so on. And then one Sunday I got home and I just took a cocktail of pills and I chased it with a bottle of wine, and I always ran a tub of hot water. And so before I did it, that particular morning when I woke up, it was like, I can't do this anymore. This is not living. I don't have my children. And you have the stigma from society. You have the stigma, being a Black woman, being a mother. What happens here stays here. You just don't say it out loud, and you rather dress it up than to say, I'm depressed, I'm, suicidal thoughts or whatever. And so that particular day, that morning, I, took a hot bath and got in a tub. And I managed to say, Jesus, help, part of help. And that's when God stopped, me from sliding down in the water. And he told me, as always, I love you. And he told me to write and to tell others that everything I've allowed you to go through, tell them the only way through any of that is through me. And so my writing hasn't been in vain, even from my brother up until now, even seeing the therapist, psychiatrist. I mean, but since 2003, I've been under that type of, a psychiatrist, psychologist, someone like that. I've been in the hospital. I went through detox and rehab. I did do that, and I kept a journal the entire time, which would be something totally separate. And then I had to end up going back through detox to be in the hospital. And then I did it a third time for 12 days, and I needed to change my medication. And so nobody wanted to help me with that. They, wanted to give me more pills. You just don't say, I don't want any narcotics, right? And that was strange to them. And so the last time I went, which was the final time, I made a decision to be proactive instead of reactive this time,
Right.
and take better control of my life and to serve God and to share with others it's okay not to be okay. And so when you're dealing with all these issues, I felt invisible. I mean, you float through and you fit in, but you don't fit in. And I've dealt with that also. And but it was, and then the domestic violence is a whole nother book. It's a spinoff to another book or a spinoff to another area to help someone in it, because all of it's very real, and we just don't talk about it. You just don't talk about it, and some people are told to tolerate it, and
Right.
it's kind of scary. But
Right. It's scary,
but one of the things,
it is scary that doctors
it's very,
are more apt to put more pills in your hand, knowing that you're depressive, and then knowing that it's opioids, knowing that that's not the true remedy to help somebody. You know what I mean? Is they say, oh, medicate with these harsh chemical drugs, and then tell me about it later. And it doesn't fix anything. It doesn't fix.
Yeah.
I don't. Because they've given me medications before, all it does is make me feel like just zonked out, not here, not
floating.
You know what I mean? Yeah. How's that even how's that helping me to deal with my issues? You know what I mean? Being zonked out. You know what I mean? Just making me lose a day of concentration, a day of remembrance, a day of my life, because I'm all zonked out, and it's not how it should be taken care of. There's no reason. I mean, unless
I did that too.
Unless you're like true pain, there's no reason for you to be on an opioid.
Yeah.
And
it was serious. Yeah. And I floated through. I've tried so many different medications. I've tried the different therapies. I've tried so much since then, and it's still issues dealing with this that I have yet to deal with. And out of 6 months, I remember maybe a month of that. And from just the trauma of that, I frustrate myself, trying to remember the rest of it, and I can't. I've lost 5 months somewhere, and that part can be scary. I think the thing that gets me is the the stigma. It's sad. And when I went through detox and rehab, and it was all walks of people, all colors of people, all sorts. But the common thing is pain. It's all about the pain. And until we're ready to do it for ourselves and try to get to the source of the pain, then you keep wanting to medicate. And it's a vicious cycle. It's a very vicious cycle.
It is. But, for me, I think that cycle can stop with proper mental health care. It can stop. So many people don't have to go through somebody pushing a pill bottle into their hands to deal with their issues. That's just like, it's not, a lot of the times it's not the answer. It comes with proper mental health care, and there's not enough of it in the United States. There's not. And it's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. Your backstory here and learning about you. You would never think of that looking at you now. You look so successful. and you have an aura about you, like you don't mess with Cynthia Fox Everret because she is about her business. That's why
I had to get to this place because it was a time when I did wear a mask of porcelain, and I have quite a few things I've written, but I learned how to do that well because of what I did, and it's a lot. It's a lot that entails me, but it used to be a time when I didn't look at myself in the mirror, and I didn't love myself. I didn't have a self-worth, but I knew how to dress it up. I could play the role. I could be this, I could be that. But, when you're by yourself, that's really, really who you are. Right. And I would be afraid to be by myself. Right. And so it took a lot to get to where I am today. It took a lot.
So where are you today? That's from where you used to be. What do you do now? Where are you today?
I didn't hear what you said.
I said, where are you today? What do you do now? Am I breaking up? Uh-oh.
Where am I at today? I will go back and say this. I did forget one detail, a major detail actually. As far as the addiction goes and the suicide thing, I will say this. The first person that I did call was my pastor, Dr. Marvin E. Smith. And the way he responded to me made a difference of me living or dying. Because and a lot of people think like, oh my God, what would they think of me? And a lot of people have that stigma again in church. And you're like, well, we're in church, wouldn't they not forgive? But sometimes it's not quite that simple. But when the way he responded to what I told him, it made the difference in me living or dying. And he never judged me. He has encouraged me through everything. And I think that's important because when you don't have that spiritual support, that alone the natural, you don't know what to do with yourself. Yeah. But where I am today, I'm in an awesome place today. I can speak about it. I turned the shame into something to help someone else. I started a business. It was called Pearls, Lace, and Polka Dots. And what that does, and my motto for that is, love is in the details. And so, and I created something, me and my son, they call Love Boxes. And what it is, it specializes in gifts. Say, for example, whatever your favorite color is, if you like teddy bears, if you like tea, or whatever it is. And I just put stuff together. I just do it. And it's a love box, and it's details. And so I believe that love is in the details. Just like with Jesus, love was in the details. He listed everything that happened, and all of it is important. And so I do that, and I just something that I do. It's just something that I do. And which led me to invisible to visible. And that came from me feeling invisible to now being visible. God gave me that. He gives me my titles. He gives me everything. And so invisible to visible is so important. And what that will consist of is like different materials that I'll write for a person to make it through all the things that I've gone through. And I can write about what I know and help someone what I've made it through, which it would be grief, addiction, domestic violence, whatever it would be. And the thing with this is that when I see someone, because I dare to look past that shiny but dull look in a person's eyes. I dare to look past that because somebody did that for me. And so when I see that and I see a person that feels invisible, and when they look at me and they smile, that lets me know that they know that they're no longer invisible. And it's kind of how I got that way too. And that no matter what the infirmity is, it all starts with God. All of it has to start with God, for your healing. That's kind of where I am right now. And then with life coaching, and I still, whoever God sends in my path, that's what I'm supposed to do, because I look for the other Cynthias somewhere in the world. It's plenty. It's a lot of me's out there. And so, wow. And God knows that he could trust me with that. And that's very special to me. It really is. I could talk about that invisible to visible thing, but that really touches. There's so many people that feel that way. And I see them and they see me, but they don't have to say anything. Just like when they read the book. If it wasn't for me to write it back then, because I still had to get here. So when they read my story, they're not going to believe it. When the book comes out, there's things in there that my family doesn't know, that my church members don't know. Even my children don't know. And so that's what's going to make it so great, that they see that God, when you're totally, really sold out for God, that anything is possible, because I never would have thought I would have made it this far. Just a second, of not taking pills, or I could never quit this after 2.5 years, and it took a lot, but I knew it wasn't for me. It was for someone else.
Right. That's beautiful.
Very special to me.
That's beautiful.
I love it. I have a passion for, not so much a passion for pain, but it's like when I do write about it in the books to come, they're going to be like, some things I can't even put into words, the pain that I felt, when you're the opioids and when you're coming off these different things. And one of the things when I see it on television, it's been an epidemic. It's just about who it's affecting right now. Right. And that was back in 2008.
Right.
It's been an epidemic. It just depends on who, and they blame people. Yes, you lie, you manipulate, you do all sorts of things for it. But the doctor still had to give it to me. So it takes 2 or 3
right.
or 4.
Right.
And you had to get it somewhere. There's no difference in someone being on the street stealing versus me getting a prescription.
Yeah.
It's still the same thing.
It is.
The same thing. And it's still, all of it still goes to pain. That's exactly what it goes to. But yes, I'm very, very compassionate about that part. Yeah.
I know. I can imagine all the people that you're going to be helping from here on out, like all the years going by. And so when this is done, make sure you leave your links so people can connect with you. And especially with your invisible to visible message, because that's going to be awesome to share out. And at the end of the day, if I could do anything that helped that cause, that would be awesome. But yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited. I get excited to the point where I do, and I always get emotional about it, because I know where God has brought me from.
Right.
And I just know. I know the journey. Yeah. And to be
nice.
And to be in a place to say it out loud and be okay. I never thought I would get here.
Well, God made you the messenger, and now you get to advocate for all those who are in pain, and you get to be that person who, he's like, kind of like, all those different authors that God chose to write the Bible. You get to be one of his messengers in that aspect, I'm not comparing Sold Out to the Bible. I'm just saying
Yeah, it's
And
fun.
hopefully,
So you can
hopefully,
see how the book fits. Yeah,
yes,
it fits perfectly. Yeah.
and I can see how God is aligning your path for you. You know what I mean? And getting to work with all these people and
Mhm.
getting you in the right message that you need to send out. Because I can see you being an advocate of change that our society really needs right now. You know what I mean? I can see you out there with the, not with the polls, but out there actually speaking and getting your message and what your experiences and everything out there and actually impacting this this pandemic or epidemic um, with the horns. I really see that you're that type of person. Like you can take this and you can run with it. I hope you do. And
I will. I am. Hmm.
you
I
are
just wait for instructions and where to go, and because a lot of people don't, in different values, different times, different cultures, all those
mhm,
things. Yeah.
right. Cynthia, you're gonna take the bull by the horns and make this
Yeah.
happen. I can see it now. Where she's gonna
I'm
be on Oprah.
excited.
And Oprah, you better get Cynthia on, on board.
I'll be ready. I'll be ready. I will be ready. I will so be ready because no tear is ever wasted. And I tell people, I talk, God sends me to so many people. And I'll tell people if it means one person, one invisible person
Right,
feeling visible and they're meaning something and they, to save their life, I would do it all over again. I
right,
wouldn't change any of it because see then God can't use me like that. And some of it is and to be totally honest with you, I battle every day with it's like you once you're delivered from some things, the pills, addiction, whatever it may be, I make a conscious decision every single day to not take this or to do this or to do that.
right,
Yeah, once we're delivered, but it doesn't go anywhere. It makes it even harder to do it. Yeah, so I make that conscious decision every day, sometimes all day, and I do, and I know it's not about me, so that helps me to decide. It really
right.
does. Yeah.
Nice. You're so awesome. You're so awesome. So,
Thank
as
you.
an author or a business owner, what advice would you have for, business owners and hopefully authors in working their business?
My advice would be always with anything that we do is to keep God first. To pray, always pray for direction and understanding and wisdom. And then once you do that, listen and write it down because He'll give it to you like He wants you to do it. Because otherwise, it's what we want to do. And you never have too much God. You never have too much. So if you pray for direction, instructions, and then He'll let you know where to go, who to, where He'll send the connections to you. Because for years I was like, I can't afford to publish this book. God, you told me to write. How am I going to publish these books? You know. But I see He's like, just do what I told you. You write, and I just kept writing and writing. So that first and foremost in anything that they do, in anything, just pray, seek God first. You
Right,
save yourself a lot of time.
right. And when God gives you your messages, how does like for me it probably is different because he don't like to talk directly to me. He don't like to talk directly. But I can see the humor because he knows how I am. But how does God deliver his messages to you? I think that would be interesting to know.
Yes, when I take a hot bath in the morning, I get up early, it's quiet. I could be driving and I'll tell one of my kids to write that down, the name of a book. Um, just riding along, or I'll see something on television, a movie, and it'll be like, interesting, and I'll go write it down. And I just listen. because I don't want to mess it up. And the fact it's a privilege and an honor, to have an anointing in the spirit of the Holy Spirit. So I would make sure that when I do it, I'm doing exactly what he wants me to do. Sometimes people will come through and I'll be like, what did you just say? And they don't even know what they said to me. And I always have something to write with. Even I write on napkins, I write on newspapers, anything like that. And so it just depends on, after getting my set of instructions and my directions, and then I'll know, okay, God, I'm listening for this. Which way do I turn? But you just be mindful, and you start out that way. So, and I'm one of those people that do this at church. I can tell you everything my pastor says, and I'll go back and I'll look at it. And so that's how he signs. I'm like, what did he say? It's like, okay, God, I got that. And it's like that all the time in my dreams. Yeah. It's like that all the time.
That's awesome that he connects with you like that. I mean, I've had my situations where he connects to me, but I don't think I listen as good as I should.
I haven't always either.
And
I haven't always either.
But then sometimes you feel doubtful because you don't know what you listen for or what's supposed to happen until it happens. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think that's cool.
He'll give it to me again. If it's meant for something, I'm like, God, did you really say you wanted me to? And it'll come back around to me again in one form or another. It does that. I look for it. And you be like, I don't know if I could do that. You just do it, and I'll tell you what to say.
Right.
Like, okay. I do it. Yeah.
What's in the works for Cynthia Everret for the next few years? What are we going to be expecting from you? As far as, are you going to have any more books or more businesses? You'll be rallying for change. What's going to happen with Cynthia? What are we going to see?
All of what you just said. But my biggest thing is the things that God has delivered me from, the invisible to visible, to make a line of materials. And this is something that my family used to tell me to get over it. Mm-hmm. Get over it. There's nothing wrong with you. Okay, so tell me how. Please tell me how to get over this, and I'm ready. I never hear anything because they don't understand it. They don't want to ask questions. They don't want to admit things. If something's wrong with me, then there must be something wrong with her. And so that right there is a job, the invisible to visible, to tell people how to identify if this, with mental illness, or what do I do about grief? I've lost 2 brothers. Or what do I do about domestic violence, which is very deep, the advocate on all those things. And to help the invisible become visible. And God is going to give that to me as he needs me to put it out there. And so in that area right there, plenty of writing. I have quite a few books, and I've been journaling since 1999, and I write and put them away, about all these things that I listed right here. So yes, helping someone else become free.
So are you going to be more books here soon?
Yes.
What's your next book going to be?
It's one that took me a while to do. It's one I wrote about my baby brother that was murdered in December 99. And it sent my world in a whirlspin. It just turned my world upside down for about 3 good years. And that's when in 2003, I had to admit that I did have a problem. And I was so angry. I was angry because they don't know who did it. And so that's when I went and said, okay, I have a problem. And so it started to take over my life. And initially I had to say goodbye to him because I was living still in the past. And so I wrote that book. It took me about 10 years on and off to really say, okay, I got to let you go. I have to let you go. And then in the midst of that, I lost another brother, and I had to go back and finish it, which the book is finished. It just needs to be published. And the other one is about women. I'll say this in one of the books. I've been in my life everything a woman could be. I've been everything a woman could be.
Right.
And the title might be somewhere around something like "Don't Let the Lipstick Fool You," and it goes of reference to when we put the mask on and we look pretty. $40 lipstick, $200 perfume, the clothes, but behind the mask. And then what happens when it cracks and
Right.
it doesn't fit anymore? What do you do with yourself?
Right.
And that goes, again, it ties back to the invisible to visible. You're everything to everyone else, but you don't know who you are to yourself. And I
Right.
think you have to keep it real. Life is real. We do things as mothers. You do what you have to do to make it do what it do while you have to make it do what it do. And
Right.
until you do what you do. And then that's facts. So I think I have to start, I'm learning to meet people where they are. Because God met me where I was. And
Right.
it'll be in that area, always toward healing, helping someone heal in whatever way. And just listen to directions. I think you have to speak facts. The world is cruel. There's nothing pretty about it.
Right.
It's nothing pretty about it. You can't pretty it. I used to try to. It didn't work too well. And that's kind of where, but you will see me fighting for the invisible and still learning to love myself and to be able to see others like God sees them, which is very important.
Yeah.
And that's where you'll see Cynthia Fox Everret. Yes, ma'am.
The soldier who's still fighting.
Still fighting. And that's a good title for a book right there.
Yeah.
That's a great one. See, just what you just did, that's how God gets it.
Don't use me as a mouthpiece, man, because you know what I be.
See, I told you were part of the bridge. I told you that.
Hey.
You are. Mm-hmm. You are. You don't even realize it. You still are.
So yeah, was there anything that you would have done differently?
I actually wrote it down. I sure did. And I would have prayed more. The other business, the after school program, different things I've done, because I had issues with trust, and I know that you have to. I wrote to educate myself and my staff on the new faces of media and technology and its progresses in society and the different things that affects people in society. We have to stay, you have to stay up on what, like the opiate with that crisis that the world's having, to learn about it, educate yourself about it, pray more about it. And that, because it's like I trust you or I don't, but I'm learning that you can give different people a different measure of trust.
Right.
And so instead of having to do it all by myself, and that was kind of my mindset. So, but that wore me out. It wore me out. But to do that, and it's okay not to have all the answers. You're only as strong as your inner circle, because they make you you. You don't have to know everything. And it's okay to say, I don't know everything. And again, that's your strength. You're only as strong as they are, is your inner circle.
Exactly. And that's what I've been trying to tell people, especially authors. Like, people can sit and they can publish their book and do everything themselves and try to, say, oh yeah, I'm a self-published author, this and that. But then the thing is, it's difficult because you always need to have a team. Even like me, being when I first started my marketing agency, trying to wear all the hats and learn how to do all the different systems and do everything by myself. Yeah, I became good at all the systems because I tried. But it didn't really like click together for me until I had a team in my business. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, you can't do everything by yourself. It takes having support, and it takes hiring great support or outsourcing to people, or you know what I mean. And one way or another, if you dream big, you have to have support to make it, you know?
Hmm.
So I'm glad
And
you
it goes
brought
back, even with all the stuff here, you still, and all these things, again, my pastor, my faith naturally and spiritually, it all has to line up. You still need direction. You need, you do it that way. You still have to have support, no matter what you do.
right,
Yes.
right. So did you actually get to meet Cheryl?
Not yet.
Not
Not yet.
yet? Are
I'm
there's probably
excited.
gonna be a sold out sister sister and brother event, right?
Yeah, it's going to be in Bimini, in Jamaica, I think. Yeah. No,
Oh,
Bahamas. I'm sorry, Bahamas. Yes. Yes.
that sounds nice.
Yes, I'm excited about it. Yeah, Bahamas. Yes, I'm super excited about meeting her. She's awesome. I love her heart and her transparency. I love that. And I like it one part because military. I know what I'm working with. If you tell me what it is, then I can tell you what it is then, and then you can do, And I love that about her. You get a lot of stuff done that way. You sure do.
And have you gotten to speak with her then?
No, I haven't spoken to her personally, not
Uh,
like that, but we, on the phone, different conferences, calls, and things like that. I'm super excited to meet her. I really am. She's amazing.
she has a strong influence. Even her business model and what she's doing right now is really strong, and you can feel it. Like when you see
Hmm.
her page, when you see these books, and you see like all these authors like you and the ones I've like, her influence is strong. So I hope I get to talk to her soon.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's
Yeah,
amazing. Me too.
I'm
Yeah.
inviting her to my 8-panel author interview.
Oh, that'd be nice.
It's sold
That
out.
sounds nice.
It'll be on the 14th of March. So hopefully
Oh,
she'll
okay.
be able to make it with all of us. That would be awesome.
That would be great. Yeah.
So yeah. Um, is there anything else you would like to share with the world?
I think I said a lot. I think, and I hope my battery's going low on my computer, but I don't lose you. Um, I think, um, if I had to tell someone something, and I always say this, that you're worth it. You're worth it simply because God created you. I don't think it's such a place that you could be too low that
Right.
you can't climb up with God. You have to have God's help, because I felt that way. I felt like I had been level with the dirt past 10 inches past, with a forest, the trees on top. But still, again, I rise. I rise again and again and again. And we're worth it. We just have to learn our self-worth. And once you know your self-worth, you walk differently, you talk differently, you dress differently, you speak differently, you look differently.
Mm-hmm.
Everything around you is different. And I often I write a blank check, and what would you fill in for your amount? And people would say 200,000, and they would look like, is that right? I don't know if it's right for you. Mine is priceless, and I had to get there. I had to learn priceless. Yeah, so we're worth it. Every little step, every little teeny whatever, you're worth it. I'm on Facebook, Cynthia Fox Everret. If I can help anyone, any information to talk, whatever the case may be, and I'm working on some other things. I mean, we didn't get to that part, but I'm on there, Cynthia Fox Everett. No question is stupid. It
Guys,
might save a life.
we'll add that into the chat at the end. So yeah, if you guys want to connect with Cynthia, she is on Facebook under Cynthia Fox Everett. And can you give them your website addresses, or tell them about the laces and Invisible.
Let me see. That's the main. I'm working on a few right now.
Yeah.
But one of my emails is invisible to visible 18 at gmail.com. Yeah.
Visible to visible18.com. I'm gonna throw that out there in the chat, and so everybody can have that who watches this later. So yeah. It was awesome meeting you, and this was inspirational to me, and I really do hope to see you fighting.
Oh,
And
I will. I will. I look forward to working with you, and if I can be of any assistance with anything, just please, 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 please let me know. I'm still standing for a reason. We both are.
oh
We
yeah.
both are. Yes.
Well, we're still connected to the internet today for a reason. So the enemy
Yes.
didn't get me today. He almost
Not
did.
today. I prayed before I got on here. It's a powerful message. And anytime you're helping set people free, then you're going to meet the opposition. I learned that a long time ago. I learned it. Yes, I sure did. I sure did. And thank you so much for the opportunity. I do
No,
appreciate it.
anytime for the sold out sisters.
Yes.
I didn't mean to do it like the Black Panther.
I know what you mean.
I wasn't thinking when I did it. Oh my gosh. Forgive me.
You meant this.
Like this. I did it like
Okay.
Let me get
It's
off my
okay.
hair. Delilah is tired.
Yes. Yes.
All right, you
But
guys.
seriously, if I could be of any assistance to you, please let me know.
Always.
Please let me know.
All right, you guys. Y'all have a great night, and I love you all. I'm gonna stop.
Love you too. God bless you.
Hashtag support your author by leaving reviews. You can visit this author's book at the link above. Make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to receive our notifications.